everybody. Hopefully, you're all having an amazing day today. So, we're getting started here. Markets opening in just a minute or so. And let's take a look at what's going on here. And excited for the day. Let's jump into it. So, markets getting ready to open. Good morning, Dory. Good morning, Andres. Good morning, all traders. So, today, we're just about to start. We had a video yesterday do really good, so we are jumping into today's video. We're jumping into this live session with more people than usual, most likely, because we're having this live session public. We do that every few weeks as a result of getting a lot of engagement on one video per week, depending on what the call to action was. So doing really good so far for that engagement, and we're off. Markets are open. Palantir is up 6.7%. Cooler's up 5.5%. Nvidia is up, it seems. CTM is up. So Nvidia's up. All those are up. Portfolio is up. QBTS is up about 11%. Okay, so you can see the quantum market is rallying as we start the day this morning. Good morning, Brian. Alice, you see QBTS is rallying. Take a look at that. There's that 70% swing, that 80% swing that we've seen. What a run it's been for QBTS. Right now it's off to the races. It's up 13% so far today. Nvidia is up. Okay. We're going to look for some opportunities here in the markets. I think we could see possibly a little bit better of a rebound today. I don't know if you guys saw, but essentially you got really close, if not already secured, a ceasefire for the Ukraine war. So that's going to play a role, a positive role in the markets today. We're watching a couple positions right now. I'd like to see some dips that we could potentially buy. What are you guys watching this morning? Let me know in the comment section what you're in and what you're watching. And let's jump in. So we have this position over here with CTM. I think it could potentially make a run here to highs. Since the market just opened 1 minute ago, we're going to be a little patient. I want to see if it breaks above this 200-day moving average, and we'll see. Starting to see a little bit of a push up there, and markets look green. So got to be a little cautious too, even though that was a good announcement yesterday with Ukraine. Let's see if they hold here in the first few minutes of the day. So starting to see a little bit of a push up there. You know, what happens is we don't have as many like dip buy opportunities. You got Palantir is up. You got some of these companies doing well. So how many of you guys see any opportunities that might have just pulled back? Let me know in the comment section what you're watching. So we saw a spike right here at market open with CTM stock going up to $1.22. The pre-market values that we saw were up in that $1.19 range. Nothing too crazy, right? So a lot of pre-market values were down here in this $1.10 range. I know you guys want to see Rigetti. You want to see cooler stock. You want to see a lot of those companies, and I love it. I actually love breaking those down. But when it comes down to opportunities in the market, I think potentially we've seen these push up quite a bit so far today, and they could continue. Absolutely, it's possible. But I'm going to be watching some other stocks. The one that's catching my eye right now is this defense and intelligence stock CTM. So I'll be watching here. Kind of saw it spike at market open, and it's selling off a little bit, and I got a smaller position here. I think I'd like to enter a position after it sells off a little more, so we'll see how that looks if we get a sell-off. You can see it sold down here to $1.16. So we're going to be watching there. Potentially we'll enter something here. Tempus AI, that's something that I see a call out for. James says, good morning, good morning. Andres, good morning. So we got Brian here, we got James, we have Juan Sanchez. What time frame do you see this? We're looking here on a shorter time frame right now, around a minute, 2 minutes. Let's see. Sam says watching Tempest. So let's take a look there. We could take a look. I like this little pullback here. So I'm gonna enter a small position in CTM. Real small. We're gonna go 900. Fill that order. There we go. And we're looking for essentially a slight fill of value up here. What we've seen is with CTM stock just kind of, we'll get into Tempest. But I'm looking at this and I'm seeing this trend start to develop. You guys see this trend starting to possibly make a run here to 170 again. And essentially, it pushed up quite a bit at market open to $1.22 and then it just pulled back down. But right now it's a little bit above that moving average. See that 200 day? So when it's above the green, it could a lot of times act as a support, or a resistance. So for example, on its way up to this resistance, it's acting as a support. And on its way down, it's acting as resistance. And so right now it's broken above there, kind of pulled back. I think it's a retest. I believe it potentially, if I can, let's see, stretch this out a little bit, then we can get there. And let me take a look at those stocks you guys are calling out. Again, I'd love to take a look. Just want to manage this position that I just bought in, as we just got in here at CTM. It's up about $33. So we'll be watching it closely to see how it kind of reacts over the next few minutes. And our plan here is we would expect that it's going to get up to here in this $1.50 range. I could imagine it happening. It is struggling a little bit. Pulled back, is struggling a little bit. So essentially, we're looking to see if CTM stock can make this swing on this uptrend that it's had over the past month. And if it can make this swing, it's a little more of a swing trade that we've been playing here with CTM. I think we would be in profit probably around, let's see, what is it that we got? Okay, so we're looking here. It's actually, if it makes a swing here, we'd be in a couple $1,000s profit. So that's why it could be a trade that potentially could be good for us. And that's why I'm watching it. So let's take a look here. Juan says, thank you, Sam, for tuning in. Dean Allen says DWTX. Let's take a look there too. I'm going to go from the top down. Yeah, cooler's finally taken off. Take a look at that. It's up 11% today. Yeah, we just covered it yesterday. It's really was at this critical point. So cooler stock, we saw that it was consolidating left to right here for the past 20 days, but it broke above that 200-day moving average. And that's when we're saying, hey, maybe it could break above this $1.30 range. And if it does, that's going to be really good indication that we could see it swing from this $1.30 range up to this $1.60 range, because that's what it's kind of done in the past. And not only, that's what it's done in the past, but if, Bitcoin recovers a little bit, then that could potentially be good for them as well. So that was another thing. Bitcoin starting to recover a little bit. Where was it at today? It's up 2%. It's up to 83,000. So it kind of consolidated, found a little bit of stabilization there. It did bounce right on the 200-day moving average. You guys see that? So Bitcoin came down. It's right here around the 200-day moving average where it stalled up. So we'll see if it does bounce there. That would be good. For cooler stock, it's up 9%. I don't know it's going to keep going. So I wouldn't even, I could see it kind of continue this. But again, it is pretty risky right now because of the Bitcoin move that they made. I really love their tech, and long term it looks good, but I think that could be some little bit of a market manipulation there, possibly. Do invest in it if you see the long term potential. Their battery tech, the SpaceX rideshare mission, NASA partnerships, Lockheed Martin partnerships, the Navy partnerships. They have the partnerships there. The revenue is not bad, but the thing that kind of puts you on edge is the Bitcoin investments, right? So 90% of their surplus cash in Bitcoin just means they're a little more like that Bitcoin move already kind of lost them about 6 million or something, which is like two times their quarterly revenue. So anyway, but I like them. That's why I cover them, right? Because they do have some tech there that's innovative. So we'll be watching. Now the other one I gotta check it out because someone said it early. Is Tempus AI, and I haven't covered this one on the channel, but I've done some of my own research on it before. Is this where it IPO'd? So it basically IPO'd 2024, and it doesn't have any crazy consistent pattern, but you see where it IPO'd here. There's a resistance. CTM stock, the one we're in right now, it's still up 6%. So it's doing okay. It's carrying some of that momentum. So I'm watching that one closely. And then Tempus AI, it's at this support, that previous resistance, previous support. We'll see if it bounces. RSI and MACD here do look a little bit on the buy side. I don't actually know what's going on with their fundamentals as a company. I'm not too sure. We can take a quick look here for, who are we looking for here? Sam, Tempus AI stock. Let's take a look, Sam. So let's see if it's adding up. So the financials, it's a $7 billion market cap. Let's take a look at their revenue. 160 million, 150 million. Their revenue's increasing quarter over quarter. You guys see that? So 145 in 2024. Quarter one, Q2 was 165, Q3 was 180, Q4 was 200. Their net income in basically quarter two was negative 550 million, maybe paying off some debt there. And then they get into net income on quarter three was negative 75 million. Net income in December was only negative 13 million. So the year over year numbers are really green. That's an interesting one. We're going to have to jump into some of their tech. A lot of hype articles. Do see that Kathy Wood's investing in it. That's interesting. Looks like they're related to their technology is AI driven for healthcare, looks like. And we could take a look at their site real quick. It's kind of like an on the surface brief analysis. It's possible we'll go deeper on it, Sam, but I just want to do a quick, breakdown. AI enabled precision medicine. With the power of AI, we now have the ability to discover novel targets, the effectiveness of treatments, potentially life-saving clinical trials. Interesting. Okay. Real time, analyze multi-model data. It seems that they're really into the AI side of things. Life sciences, accelerating through AI. Okay, they're doing some cancer research. Now is like one of the best times in the world, obviously, or history, to be doing that as a company. Improving patient care through high quality testing. 65% academic medical centers in the US are connected to Tempus AI. 8 million de-identified research records to power scientific discovery. Oh, that's quite interesting. All right, last thing I'm looking for. Are they using quantum computers? AI-based algorithms and launching AI to find solutions for example, strains of cancer or sequencing, or looking down to the peptide proteins and how they're binding to potentially be able to come up with vaccines. When they're looking at those types of things, my question is, AI is great. What's the computing power look like? I don't know if other people are asking the same question, but I would ask that because if you look at the biggest in the game, Tempus is big, obviously 7 billion. But if you take a look at a company like Amgen, this is where it gets interesting because, with Tempus AI, I don't know, I didn't go deep enough to see what computers they are using to find, like, what computers, I'm going to ask them, do you use to find solutions slash drug discovery. This is great. They should arm every AI of every company on the front page with all the information about the company, so I can just ask them a bunch of information. That would be cool. They utilize AI-enabled solutions, multi-model data. Our Tempus One AI assistant enhances clinical decision making. Okay, so decision making maybe for like doctors, nurses, clinical trial eligibility and research data. Additionally, algorithmic tests leverage AI and machine learning. All right, so it looks like mostly GPUs. If you look at a company like Amgen, quantum computing is something, but that's the thing. If I go to Amgen and you look at their breakthroughs, they're cracking cholesterol, again, finding solutions for binding peptide proteins to find cures or vaccines, I should say, for strains of cancer. I don't know either that if you go to the science, they actually talk. Let's see, they talk about their AI and data here. And my question is, do they actually talk about the quantum computing side of things? Do they actually talk about that? Not sure. Anyway, I don't see it, but I know the reason I say it is because I talked to someone at CES. I have his card right here on my desk. You guys see it? I have his card on my desk. Dr. Nash Palaniswamy of Quantinium said that Amgen is using quantum computers to solve those problems. So they're actually using quantum computers. All right, let's take a look. CTM, we're still up $50 on that small position. It hasn't moved much since we entered the position. Let's take a look down to the shorter time frame and see how it's reacting. So essentially, we saw pre-market had some spikes, and then right at market open, it shot up to $1.22, sold down, and it's at now $1.17. $50 profit so far. We're looking for it to fill some of this value here. Possibly bounce up here to $1.30 first. That's kind of the first level. And that would be about $13 profit, or 13% profit. And so we'd probably be looking at around $500 to $600 profit. So that's kind of what we're watching for the trade today. If you guys are familiar with CTM, take a look. But yeah, again, Sam, on that company, I would just say, think about, are they using quantum computers? Because if they are, that's really good. If they aren't, you got to ask yourself, what computers are they using if they plan to do AI? I think that's the right question. What's the tech look like? Let's take a look at BBAI today. So BBAI, we know that it has been volatile the past few days. It's up 4% today. So to start the day, we see it breaking out a little bit. Let's take a look at what we mapped out yesterday. If you guys ever want an update, you can head over here. You guys can head over here to the channel. We just posted a video yesterday on Big Bear AI right here. It's got about 3,000 people have already seen it in the past few hours. And the reason I say that is because there's probably some interest building in AI, Big Bear AI. And you can see that this recovery today can make a lot of sense. So once it's broken out of this downtrend, which it just started to do, it hasn't fully, but it's starting to break above that 200-day moving average. Do you guys see that? This 200-day moving average was acting as resistance, and it's starting to break up above. Now, if it's breaking out, next level, if we see it get into this $3.70 range right here, somewhere in here, $3.70, that's a previous support and a previous resistance as well. So if Big Bear AI breaks up above that $3.65 range, it's starting to get some momentum. You can see it kind of breaking out of this downtrend. Not full indication as it's just hovering on that 200-day moving average. But if it breaks here, then that's really good indication we could see it make this run. And that's when things start to heat up. You start to maybe see a reversal. And Big Bear AI has had this trend start to develop, this overall trend. Our average price is $2.80. So if you go back basically a year, you could see that trend start to develop. It's gaining, and then boom, if it breaks back into this range, we'll see a recovery. I think we'll see a recovery. Previous highs would be 200%, so would make a lot of sense for us to see those levels. If we get a break back above $5, the company has some contracts that would put them in that range. They just signed a new contract, which we went over in that video, so we'll be watching them closely. But again, right there, really key level, starting to maybe recover, so we'll watch it closely. Okay, CTM stock's the one we're in today, so you guys get to see me trade live. It hasn't moved too much, kind of looking to take advantage of this uptrend here. If you guys want to watch me trade live like this in this setting every single day at market open, you want to be there on Monday, it's the second link or the first link below. The reason we are public right now is because we had a call to action for if we got a certain amount of likes on a video 2 days ago, then you guys would get a free live session. And this is what we do every single morning. We're here in the StockMate community, and we trade live each morning, do some breakdowns, and you get to see my entries and my exits. So again, if you want to take a look, we have a special sale only for this live stream that's not going to be up all day in the description. If you guys want to join us here every day, just thought I'd let you know. Now, and also we're going live on Monday. No holidays or anything like that. We'll be there. Rigetti has been maintaining that uptrend. Let's take a look. Saw AMD kind of spike a little bit today as well. It's kind of making a recovery. It's up 2.6%. Let's take a look at Rigetti stock. It's up 16%. So this is where things start to get interesting, because now we see it break back above that moving average. Okay. So this 200-day right here, it just broke back above it. So that's indicating some bullish momentum. We're starting to see recoveries right now. Again, I think part of it is the quantum computing getting a lot of funding. AI doing well. But again, I think part of it is that Ukraine war. Basically, yesterday, they basically came to, they're very close, like they agreed verbally to a ceasefire. So that looks good in the markets. There was still some kind of nuanced talk from Putin. So he's like, we're not going to stop unless we see, like, and he gave a bunch of conditions that were kind of ridiculous, as Putin would do. But agreed if those things are met. So a lot of people see that like, oh, ceasefire is here. I think it's maybe temporary relief, and we'll just have to see if a deal gets made. It's most likely still not going to be favorable for Ukraine, so we'll just have to see. For a moment there, two things happened this week that actually did jumpstart the markets, at least with attention. And one of the things, and I can get into Rigetti, I'd like to jump in, but two of the things that you should know is that the US decided that they were going to not fund Ukraine anymore. Okay, so that's something that happened. US is the #1 contributor, about 150 billion they've given. And then right after that, this is the second thing, they say that they're now going to be continuing to contribute to Ukraine, and then they put sanctions on Russia, and that just happened like yesterday. So those two things happening actually kickstarted the markets a little bit. So you see some green here today, and it's not just quantum, it's every market. So Rigetti stock 15%. Look at this trend starting to develop here. You can see this support line right there. So you can start to see resistance happening right here. So this is kind of the new trend. It's interesting. It's not hyper bullish, but it's kind of like a healthy bullish. And now we saw it shoot up to that $10.50 range. What would make sense? I mean, we could potentially see this sell down here to uh, back to $9, somewhere in this range again, before continuing. And it's possible we just get a straight up launch. And look at that, QBTS. QBTS is up 30% today. What a recovery there. Their price right now is at $8.91. So what a recovery. Look at that. That's insane. Anyway, Rigetti, if we're going to see a breakout up to previous highs on Rigetti, a couple things that we see with the technicals. There is this resistance right here. It's also a support. You can see it's also a support right here. And again, it's at about $10 a share. So you guys see that? Just about $10 a share, there's this support. So what would make sense is if it's going to really stay bullish is when we see this break up here above this resistance, which it's kind of now breaking above. It's at $10.16. The hyper bullish case would be we start to see it hold this level and recover faster. And that's kind of what we saw with QBTS the past few days. And then the next level is this resistance right here. So you can see resistance here. This is about right around $12. Resistance got rejected right there from basically November till today. Support here and resistance. And so when you look at that breakout. If it breaks above this $10 range, which it just did actually, and then it holds above the $10 range, then we could potentially see it recover into this level. So this is a consolidation zone we've seen it go through, and that would be another 20% run is that level. And I think it's actually a really good time to do a Fibonacci sequence, because that's kind of most likely going to see the support and resistance automatically. So let's take a look. Fibonacci, how do you do it? You go from the very top of the peak and you see it come down here to that $5.50 range. That's where we're going to basically pull from that most recent low. And again, 29% positive there on QBTS. That's crazy. And then we see this recovery here. We're going to pull to previous highs, or to where we could see it getting to. I think this is a little extended for that time. I could see it get into this $17 range somewhere in here. So let's drag it over $17.50 right here. All right, so now we got the Fibonacci outlook for Rigetti. Couple things that you want to look at here. The reality is it's right at the golden ratio. So this 0.618 level here that we just kind of mapped out is where it's a buy. So technically, if you were looking to swing trade this from where it's at currently up to $18, then you'd be looking to buy Rigetti around this price point that it's at right now. Now again, would like to see it hold above $10, and if it does, then that would be more likely here that we'd see it entertain the golden ratio more heavily. But essentially, a buy in this range would be that swing trade. And the next level of support, you could even see it's perfect on the Fibonacci, as we just kind of said. It's probably going to be perfect. It is. There's a support and resistance. You'd even see those levels where it's bounced on the Fibonacci. And that would be the next level to get to. That would be $12.87. If it hits there, then the next level, which you can again see on the Fibonacci, it's a resistance. So that would be $15. So, of course, I'm looking at this and I'm saying, here's the Fibonacci saying this is the type of recovery, the levels that you'd want to watch. But also, things are going to play a role in the quantum computing market. We see this big uptick here. One reason why, too, let's see what happens with this bill. It's on the House desk. It's a $2.7 billion national quantum initiative that's going to companies like Rigetti, IONQ, and others. So that's going to be a that could impact the quantum market, and we'll be watching there closely. So yeah, QBTS. Dory says take a look at LAES. Won't be doing that today, Dory. Let me tell you, LAES, just from my last research, it didn't have a solid fundamental. It didn't have a solid financial report. I'll jump in one more time just on the financials to see what it looks like. If I remember correctly. Yeah, so it's pretty. Their revenue is around 2.5 million a quarter. I don't know what it's looked like that as of recently. $20 million quantum push. I'm not sure what that one is. They invested 20 million in quantum startups. Apparently that's happening right now. A lot of news happening just today around this quantum tech, and they have Seal Quantum. Interesting. I'm sorry, I just can't give you a good analysis because I don't know. So I've done a little bit of research, but again, I don't know. I can take a look at the technicals if you want. Let me know if you'd like to see that, and we can take a look. So CTM stock, it's still not making any huge moves. We see it's at, what is that? It's up 2% so far. So I think from that second entry, it's down about 1.5%. So let's see here. Yeah, so this is the trade for today. It's down a little bit. We're essentially anticipating CTM stock to make this run up into this value here. Now, it is at a support that's an uptrending support. It does have this struggle to break above this previous resistance and support. And so we'll have to see if it's able to break above it. And if it does, start to see it maybe knock on that door today, then it could be good. Otherwise, we might not be holding it throughout the day. The reason I say that is because, you know, it's still at a key level. This is a rising support. This is the pattern that we're playing. And if it can't hold this pattern, then we most likely won't be trading it. But the company has a lot of great contracts with the government. You see Naval Air. They got IDIQ, their Oasis Plus. They're right up there with AI and intelligence. So we're going to watch closely. I hear there's huge short interest on CTM. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what huge is for this stock. It's $80 million market cap. So I don't know. What is huge short interest on a stock like Castellum? It's an $81 million market cap. And I mean, if you take a look on NASDAQ, the institutional holdings on this company are still very limited. I don't see BlackRock. I don't see Charles Schwab. I see Vanguard. Vanguard's in there. So that's good. Bank of New York's in there. State Street is in there. Bank of America is in there. I'm not too sure. Goldman Sachs. They just sold out, actually. Late December, they sold out. Goldman Sachs. Okay. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's got short interest. I don't know. If you look at their volume today, I don't see anything that's insane. I mean, it's got some volume. A little bit of volume there. Starting to recover on the RSI and the MACD, starting to cross over a little bit. I don't see it as overbought. Doesn't look overextended really to me. It is possible. It's possible that it will sell off. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the recovery here from, you know, basically validating this previous resistance, continuing this trend that it's in right now, and swinging into this range here. I mean, if it makes this run right here, that's 13%. Halfway up in our trend would be about 30%. When I look at the risk and I look at the margin for profit, to me, it makes a lot of sense. It's actually even a little bit more of a fundamental play when you look at that. And look, I could absolutely be wrong. All you could do in these positions, let me know what you think about that short interest. Share your thoughts with me. It's not uncommon to see short interest, but it is an indicator, right? If you see a lot of people saying we're shorting this, why are they shorting it? That's what I would want to know. But again, on this recovery here, if you look at it, all you could do in any situation when you're entering a trade is not to say it's going to go up or it's going to go down and this is what's going to happen. And now I'm going to make all my money because I just bought. I mean, sometimes it works like that if we're in a very niche part. One time I was doing a speech for Invisalign. I got the opportunity to go there and meet the CEO. I was doing marketing for them and supporting one of their campaigns that I was really pumped about. And when I did it, I got to meet the CEO, talk with them, and learned about this special tech that they had called iTero that allows you to scan the mouth. And this was in 2017. No other dentists or companies were out there that had that technology. And that showed me, oh, and also Invisalign is these clear braces that you don't have to have that nasty foam in your mouth. You don't have to have boom, boom, boom. And all these reasons why they looked unique. And I felt like I had insider info. And so I bought. And I was very confident. Well, actually, rather than buying, instead of taking cash from the company for the contract that I got, I actually took stock options. And those stock options paid from $75 a share. They went up to $325 a share. And those are the types of things you look for. CTM stock, when I'm investing in it right now, you don't see anything like that where it's like they have this proprietary technology that gives them a massive edge on the market or anything like that. I'll be honest, there's nothing like that that's driving this investment decision. In fact, we buy it, we have a trading plan, we say if it goes up and it hits our where we'd like to sell, excellent. If it goes down and we have to manage our risk, excellent. We manage our risk and we do it right, and we'll most likely be able to make money in the long term by doing so. So that is that is the outlook. Okay, I'm not gonna say I know the future of any of these stocks, but there are times when you see an edge in the market, and you move the market. So maybe there's short interest. Maybe me buying it, that's going to make shorts look at it differently. So who knows? Why does it have short interest? That'd be the question. Adam, that's a good call out though. Let's take a look. Shinilako, can you look at Nvidia? Let's take a look. So we're in AI. Let's just drop into here, NVDA. So again, guys, if you want to see these live sessions, our portfolio is up about 4.2%. It's about 30% into the day. But if you want to see these live sessions, you'd like to watch me trade live, got a special discount for you guys. We are only in this live session for a limited time because of a promotion that we're running. And we normally have these live sessions private. And if you'd like to see them publicly, then feel free to check the link in the description to join us inside of Stockmate. You can surround yourself with other traders and investors there in that second link or first link, I believe, in the description. Would love to have you there. So Nvidia, we see Nvidia is, let's take a look back a little bit further. They've been crushing their earnings, and I think they're bullish long term. I don't know what's going on recently. We can start to see it's just kind of a healthy pullback. They broke below that 200-day moving average. That's a bearish move. Not only is that bearish for them, but it could be bearish potentially for the market because they carry most of the market. So there were some times where Nvidia stock was up, the rest of the market was like down, and I don't want to say like the S&P because get this, the S&P was up. So keep that in mind. Nvidia stock, the technicals are looking like this. You got the support, previous resistance. You got this level up here. there it looks like it could be a nice buy just on the surface. I could imagine this swing taking place, a recovery back to previous highs. So about a 23% increase here on Nvidia. But if you buy over on NVDX, which is the 2x, then that would be about a 50% increase if you make that trade. Now, there is some risk here. You can see while the RSI and the MACD look more like a buy, the EMA is looking like a resistance. So potentially would get sold off from this resistance and maybe retest this support. It's possible. The thing about Nvidia is it mostly is driven by fundamentals, not necessarily financials. They have their quantum computing event on March 20th, and I think that could be really big for them. As they have that event, it most likely will get a lot of press and positive outlooks. That's happening March 20th, and that will be interesting. The market cap's about 3 trillion, so again, most valuable company in the world. Their last earnings here that they just reported 2025 January here, you could see that their revenue was at about 40 billion. I guess I could round down because it's billions. 39.3 billion. Their net income is 22 billion. So they racked in $22 billion just in one quarter. Now here's where it gets interesting. I mean, we're going back to April 2024. Look at that net income. We're not talking about revenue. We're talking about basically profit. Okay. Look at that net income. You see it? 14 billion. All right. What about the next quarter? Oh, 16.6 billion. All right. What about the next quarter? Oh, 19 billion. All right. What about the last quarter? Oh, 22 billion. So you can see they're just printing money with their GPUs. They're absolutely crushing it. And their revenue is up. Their stock recently went down. I think there still could be some room to run in this recovery to this level up here in this $1.40 or 140 cent range. Did I say cents again? $140 range would make sense. Is it at the bottom? Not necessarily saying it's a bottom, especially since it's below that 200-day moving average. And we still got to watch the tariffs. We know there was just an announcement that China's had some breakthroughs. So maybe that means that they're going to take a tiny bit of the market. I don't think they're going to take the whole market. We see AMD aggressively pursue data centers. So maybe they're going to take a little bit of the market. They're not going to take the whole market. Nvidia is the dominant player here. The AI agents are becoming a big part of Nvidia's focus. You can see their AI agents. Those are basically AIs that can run your business for you or build with you. So I've even used some AI agents in helping us. Like we have a team of actual humans, 4 people at our company, but with Mercatus AI, the predictive AI analysis software for markets in stocks, tech, quantum, minerals even, and real estate, is based on AI agentic frameworks. So it like the way that we're building our company is using AI agents as well. And so when you look at Nvidia, they've been doubling their revenue and they sold off. Yeah, the market's down. There's tariffs. We're going to see how that works out. So I would imagine Nvidia, where it is currently, might retest that support, but most likely we're going to see it V-shape recovery back to those levels of $150. Now, of course, will tariffs, will China this, oh, the Ukraine war. Okay, I get it, but again, this is the company that's basically powering the entire AI boom right now. I mean, yes, there's going to be quantum, and we're going to cover it. But when it comes down to the potential for Nvidia to recover, it seems inevitable in my eyes. But let me know what you guys think down below. So what else do we got here? Algorithm machine. Buying volume is spiking. Looks like we're going to melt up now. Is it a bottom right? Yeah, so one thing to consider, if we're in an algorithm machine, it's not so much algorithm. It could be, of course, on the micro level, but when it comes to large trades from institutions, they actually have to schedule that in advance. So a lot of those scheduled uh, sells and buys are scheduled either at the beginning of the day or the end of the day. And we see a lot of obvious buy orders at the beginning of the day today. QBTS is making a run there. It's up 25%. Rigetti stock, so quantum computing, is up 13%. And I would imagine that if we're going to see uh, these types of bullish movements, and I do agree with you on the melt up. I think the asset prices are going to go up regardless. We're going to see asset prices go up. Inflation might, it's a little bit of a stagflationary time right now where we might see inflation go up, asset prices go up, and other things go up. It's going to happen, especially with our economic situation right now. But here's the deal: no matter what, you want to own assets, and the melt up is real. We could see AI go up. You want to be in a position to not be caught in the dust if these asset prices are soaring, and they're going to real estate, stocks. We even see gold make its run, but that might have been a little bit due to the economic uncertainty. But again, economic uncertainty equals opportunity. We could imagine this asset price to be something you don't want to be caught in the dust and only hold cash, because that could put you in a situation where you, and it's really sad actually, because a lot of people are going to be in that situation uh where they're stuck holding a lot of cash, and asset prices rise and inflation is there, and then it, like, they don't have as much money because they weren't holding assets. So that's a real thing too. And I that's why I make it a point to like educate you guys. The asset prices are going up. Someone says uh 50-50 on all stocks unless USA based, due to the president being on X Truth live streams and then OnlyFans channel. 50-50 on stocks. Not exactly sure what that means. 50-50 recession, 50-50 a melt up? Or is a melt up actually a recession? Anyway, I would love to listen to you. You should change your username to retired and rich though. it might it might make people listen to you more. Retired and broke just doesn't hit. Oh man. Yeah, so asset prices, I would imagine, are gonna continue to rise regardless of what we have going on. And someone just said yesterday, I was talking with a friend, and they said, "Well, do you think that stocks are always overvalued? I mean, how can they always go up? I mean, I get it, inflation, and then that makes the stocks worth more because dollars are worth less. But like, they were like, do, does like how does the stock market keep going up?" And it's like one question. I was like, "Oh, well, it's because of the value that they're creating. Like stocks wouldn't move if companies weren't continually like they got people working and creating value. So yes, stocks will continue to go up forever as long as people are working and adding value and doing it in a way that is efficient and helpful for society. Yes, stocks will continue." Anyway, thought that was funny. Last night, a very bullish interview from Carp on, and BBAI was in. Interesting. That's really good news there to know, George. Can you drop a link potentially? Let's take a look there. BBAI. It's up 5% today. And I know when we look at this, it looks like a pump and dump. Like, okay. Let me just back up a second here. Let's look at this. It looks like a pump and dump, BBAI. But it also looked like a pump and dump when it was in November when we started covering it. November 22nd there. My birthday. And then we see it recover there to $4.58 or continue. Sell down. And it was actually really consistent. And so it looks like a pump and dump. It's sold off. But again, a lot of the market kind of looks like a pump and dump right now, doesn't it? So I wouldn't be, again, I would not be, we can't count out Big Bear AI. We should look and potentially see that it's going to recover here. I think it would make a lot of sense that we could see it get into these previous levels. And that right there would be like 10 to 40% in profit. And again, I have a long-term position on BBAI. Maybe I'm biased. My average purchase price is $2.80. Do we trade it on a continuing basis alongside of that? Yeah, we do. We do. So we like the short-term gains, but that's kind of how things are looking. We're going to be wrapping up the stream, guys. Also, it's snowing outside. Can you guys see outside my window here? Potentially. Can you guys see? Check that. Snow. Snow, snow, snow. You guys see that? Pretty cool, right? I'm glad we're getting some final snow here in the Sierra Nevadas before the spring hits. Just means more water. It's good, especially if we're kind of had some intense fire seasons the past few years. So that's good to see some extra water in the mountains. All the animals are inside right now, dog and the cat, so they're excited about the weather too. Cover cooler, cooler, cooler. Yeah, we could take a look. Yeah, let's do it. So again, let's take a look at cooler stock. How many of you guys are trading cooler, have traded cooler, or are potentially going to be trading cooler stock? Go ahead and drop it in the comments. How many of you guys think that this is where money's going to be made? And how many of you guys have opposing opinions? Now, when we started covering cooler stock here this week, it was at this level where we're saying, I'm not too fond of the Bitcoin move. Okay, so we start to see this. But this 200-day moving average is sweeping in. And I need to clarify that Bitcoin move, and part of why they sold off with Bitcoin is because they bought a tremendous amount of it. And I need to clarify, it's not that I'm not fond of the move in the long term. I'm not fond of the move in the short term. So that's something we got to clarify too. Andres says, I've traded and will trade again. All right, Andres, let's go. Now you can see building an energy management platform. They're partnered with NASA, Lockheed Martin, Department of Transportation, Federal Aviation. They just released an article yesterday night. Cooler's NASA certified M35A battery cells selected by leading private US space company. Do they say what the space company is? It doesn't appear that they do. But maybe it is going to be SpaceX. Who knows? It's already an integral component of NASA's Artemis II mission. The M35A cells are being incorporated into Cooler's innovative 400 watt-hour K1 space battery, which is set for completion this month and will undergo NASA Safety Board review soon after. So again, Cooler stock, KULR is the ticker symbol. And they have this cutting-edge battery that apparently, if they just, so it's NASA certified, they work with NASA, but apparently they just partnered with a leading private US space company. Maybe that is, in fact, SpaceX. We don't know. They didn't say who it was. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I would say if it's a leading US space company, it's either Cooler Stock, Rocket Lab, or ASTS. That's about it. Maybe Lockheed Martin. But the leader, the real leader, is SpaceX. So if they're using the terms leading private US space company, maybe it's SpaceX. They have that SpaceX rideshare mission in 2026. Maybe that's putting them in the door. They're able to secure a partnership there with Mr. Elon. Who knows? So anyway, that's really good. What I don't like is that I'm guessing. I don't like that I'm guessing which company it is. Tell me which company it was. Maybe they got an NDA or what have you. I understand. That's, something. They didn't say that it was a US government company. They said it was a US space company privately. So we'll see how that plays out. The recovery today is 9% for the stock. They're on this run. We just pointed out yesterday. Did you guys see that? We just made a video on Cooler stock yesterday. And look what I said. Cooler stock just broke into green territory, surprising investors. So the reason that we made this video is because we had a couple call outs from some members inside of StockMate the past few days that have been saying, hey, Cooler stock is making sense as a breakout. And we see that it did break out here at $1.20, $1.30, and now it's making this run to here. The next level for it to hit is 15% above where it's currently at $1.56. If it breaks up above $1.50, then that would be territory to see it get into this $2 range. I'm pretty certain that we're going to see recovery. It's just kind of a matter of if, and also how Bitcoin performs. Does that make sense? Bitcoin tanks, investors that invest in Cooler are going to be like, man, they got 60K in Bitcoin. That doesn't look so good. They're going to be like, people around the world are going to be like, man, why'd you go and buy the Bitcoin, man? Why'd you buy the Bitcoin, man? Invest in your battery tech, man. No, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to say, but that's the gist right now. If they just hold true to what they're doing and they have some Bitcoin stuff go well, they're going to rise. All right, because we're going to keep, I wanted to keep congruence with how we normally do these live sessions. I don't know if you guys know, if you're tuning in from outside, we do these live sessions every morning at Market Open inside of StockMate. StockMate is our private group with investors and traders. If you want to surround yourself with like-minded individuals and see these live sessions every morning, join us. As I see a lot of familiar faces here already. We see Andres in here, Kevin, Dory, we got Sam is in here. You got let's see, Sam, you got Johnny is in here, Juan is in here, you got Brian is in here, James is in here, and so we have all StockMates are in here right now. You can see them making the call outs that we're looking at here as well. And we go live Monday through Friday. If you want to watch me trade live, see my entries and my exits, it's the link in the description. We have a special sale only available for this live trading that we're doing here because we had a video get a certain amount of likes, do pretty good the other day. So we're going to, that was part of the contingency for what we did there in that video. So what does that say? Adam said, or Void says, my average on Cooler is $2 long-term hold. That's good. That's pretty good entry there. Looks like you entered back here somewhere in this range. Yeah, I could see that. Well, short-term entry is a little nerve-wracking maybe, but if you're long-term, it's not too bad. It's better than maybe having a $5 entry or somewhere up here that could take more patience or have more uncertainty around it. I'd be happy to review that stock that you guys just called out there, which is Serve Robotics and also Rigetti. So we'll start with Rigetti. We touched on some quantum today, but we'll jump in real quick, and then that will be it. Is the last two. Rigetti stock. It's leading the way, almost actually. QBTS leading the way, but it's up 15%. So it's been a green day so far for quantum, and now look at that. It's still holding that level above $10. So the technicals indicate maybe a little bit of an overextension. Hyper bullish case would be that it holds this level above $10 and it starts to establish a new trend, or it's going to keep this current trend and it might sell down to $9 a share before continuing up. Now, when we talk about Rigetti stock, a couple things you got to consider. They've had some really good news come out about breakthroughs in their fidelity. You can check out their quantum computer, top to bottom. You got dilution, refrigeration, the signal chain, down to the QPU. You can see all that technology. And you can see that they have optimized their fidelity to achieve 2-qubit gate fidelity of 98.7%. For a while there, they were chasing 95%. They get 96, 97. They're up to 98.7% fidelity. What does that mean? Well, single qubit is 99.9%. When you have 2 qubits next to each other, that's how you transfer data, transfer that information, how they communicate. Now you need fidelity. You need the quantum computer to be able to scale and have more qubits. The only way you achieve that is if that communication, there's low errors, there's fidelity in those 2 qubits that communicate with each other. When you get that 2-qubit gate fidelity to an optimized rate, the company's going to do well. They got partnerships with NASA. They just upped one of their contracts with space company, AWS, Microsoft, and also, I believe, Google. One thing to note that's really interesting about the QPU, you guys see this QPU here? It looks like it's empty. It looks like there's something missing. Oh, that's because there is. That's where you can put your Willow chip. That's where you can put your Ocelot chip or your Microsoft Marana chip. So you can see it. Dean is here. Happy to have you here, Dean. Thanks for tuning in, man. Happy to have you. I see you tuning in, and I'm like, let's go. We got stockmates in here. And oh, I forgot to, I got to tell you guys something before the end of this call. So I'm going to tell you something really exciting. And so stick with me here. I'm going to share with you guys some new ranking systems that will compensate you more for being here consistently. So I'm excited about that. Rigetti superconducting quantum processors. These are accessible and usable through the cloud on AWS. And if you want to use them through AWS, not only can you use them through the cloud and get answers back, you can also use them through Microsoft Azure. So we've been covering it for a while. Rigetti stock, again, if you want to use the quantum computer through the cloud, you got IONQ, Quantinium, which is a private company, Pascal, and possibly we'll see as the quantum starts to heat up with their new chip that's come out, how that plays into their cloud role. The questions the CEO answered from Microsoft about their new chip is that they plan to use it for their own business first and then make it publicly available. That's what they said. So not really publicly available yet. So with that, I would say the recovery in the near term up to this $12.50 range is what I would look for in Rigetti. Now, of course, like I said, it's a little overextended. We got to see it hold this $10 range, but it is holding that range and it's continuing up even more. The recovery up to here around $12.50 is what I would look for. If it's hyper bullish, we could see that recovery up to $15, that previous resistance. It's going to have some trouble probably breaking above that $12.50 range, but that's the next level that I could potentially see it get to. That's how it looks for Rigetti. And again, we do these, but it's important to have a plan when you get into your stock and to know where you would sell or where you'd enter or exit based on how it reacts. Just keep that in mind. All right. And then the last one we're going to go over here was Serve Robotics. We'll end this one really quick. We're going to keep it simply technical. We've done a lot of dives into their financials and they look fairly good. What do we know about, let's go to robotics. What do we know about Serve Robotics? Well, Serve Robotics is a company they have autonomous robots that power a back end system for Walmart, for Target, for Albertsons, and essentially they do all the inventory and organize the deliveries of food for those companies. So when you look at Serve Robotics and where they've been, it's interesting. Or is that even right? What I just shared is actually symbiotic. Serve Robotics is partnered with Uber and Nvidia and recently lost some of their Nvidia partnership. That's why we saw it sell off. Sorry about that. But Symbiotic, that's an interesting one too. I saw Symbiotic and I started thinking about it. I started talking Symbiotic, Serve Robotic. It sounds kind of the same. Anyway, this company doesn't work with Walmart and doesn't have $500 million contracts with them. They are like Uber. So you could, see that they actually saw one in downtown Miami when I was there 2 weeks ago. It wasn't a serve robot. I don't know. I don't know if it's a serve robot, but it was basically delivering the food from a restaurant to a apartment. You can see their financials. Serve Robotics, they got about revenue 175K in the quarter and negative 13 million. Quarter before 220K and negative 8 million. They're startup, but they have really big valuations. Their valuations right now are $500 million. That's down because they were up to about 1.5 billion before they lost some of their Nvidia partnership. This is where they lost their Nvidia partnership. So Nvidia stopped investing in the company. They've sold off. They're still partnered with Uber, so that's good. And if they have their own tech, maybe they won't need Nvidia. Let's take a look here. So you can see since the IPO at about $2 a share, they've gone up to what was $24 a share at one point, and they recently sold down. Now, these are really drastic and not only drastic, they are very maybe overextended resistances. So I wouldn't even really say this is at a support and it's going to recover. I mean, it's possible. This is the new pattern, but that's a 200% increase and seems more unlikely. Right now, all I could say about Serve Robotics is it's below this 200-day moving average. It's trying to break above it, but still struggling a little bit. Hasn't broken above it, so it doesn't have confirmation of a reversal just yet. What you look for, essentially, is look at it the first time when it bounced here, it bounced up above that 200-day moving average and really started to push up above it. And then from there, continued to rally basically 70%. And then after that, rallied another 130%. But again, it all happened after it confirmed that it was above the 200-day moving average. So I would look for a break above the 200-day moving average before making any moves with Serve Robotics. It's great. It's at a low price. It seems like it's at a support, and there's a little bit maybe less risk. But you don't want to catch a falling knife. You don't want to try and buy something when it's already on its way down. It hasn't recovered yet or confirmed that it's going to go up right now. So won't be getting into Serve Robotics, but hopefully that's helpful for your analysis. So appreciate you all, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I see that call out there on RCATs, and we'll take a look. I see, luxury safety gear. I'll take a look, man. Constantine says, what do you think of AAOI? Would love to do another live session, and we could take a look. It looks like they might be a supplier for Stargate. That's really good insight there because they're a $500 billion company, or a $500 billion contract there, Stargate, so that could be good. And you say UMAC, RCAT works together. Take a look there. All good if you can't do one more, but could you look at Archer Aviation? I'm here to serve you guys, and And I was gonna, yeah, I almost forgot. Let me wrap up here, and we'll have some more calls going. We'll have another live session very soon. The other thing is it's snowing outside and it's getting on the Starlink satellite. So I don't know if it's gonna stay. If the live stream's gonna kick in, I could see it's actually down a little bit. It's going a little slower than it should be. So I might have to go. It's got a built-in heater, which is cool. But Starlink, right now AMD stock, those microchips up there in those satellites through this crazy snowstorm above me. It's making sure we got internet for a live stream. Pretty cool. All right, Johnny, let's take a look. This is what we got going for the Stockmates live sessions. The goal is you guys get to see the thought processes behind buying stocks, and it makes you a more equipped trader. And I want to give you guys a quick announcement. We have things we're working on, softwares, AI predictive analysis tools. We have the community, we have the technical analysis, the fundamental analysis. But one of the biggest pieces is, again, those thought processes, the seeing the entries, seeing the exits, how we make money in the markets on a daily basis at market open. And we recently were looking at our attendance, and it's been really good. A lot of stockmates show up each morning. This is higher attendance than normal, and that's because we have every once in a while, every few weeks, we'll have one session kind of public so that people could see what it's like. This one is more talking and analysis than usual. Normally we just buy something and we're watching it and we're watching it and we're seeing how it's performing. But today we're buying something, we're still watching it over here, which we're up. Our portfolio is up today, which is good. But we're like saying, hey, let's look at this stock and let's look at this stock, which we do as well. Now here is what we're introducing. We're going to introduce an RSVP for each live session in the morning. And when you RSVP to the live session, we already have email reminders, but we'll most likely, as a part of this add-in, text reminders. You get the ability to see attendance, and we can track some of the attendance, which will then allow us to reward people when they show up to the live sessions in the morning. And we're thinking of some ways to do that. We have Rigetti AI, which is launching, and that's a special future-based predictive analysis tool where you can swap between different AIs, and with our proprietary analysis framework, get breakdowns of future prices for assets. That is only available to people that are part of our virtual and AI stock trading system that we launched about 2 weeks ago. But we're most likely also going to be peeling back the curtain and allowing the beta access of that software to be given to stockmates that consistently attend the live sessions. So that's one thing. When you're a lifetime member, you get a free stockmate t-shirt. Now, not everybody has claimed them. I know a lot of people claim them. You get an email. If you haven't get it, you could send it. I saw that we had about 40 people just recently grab their t-shirt. Like they were flying off the shelves and we're sending them out. And it was funny because the inventory company was saying, Will, is this fraud? Because basically we haven't paid for any of it yet. We haven't paid for any of the t-shirts. And essentially whenever someone buys, then it takes the order and it starts to process it, and then I have to go pay for it. So it's all on one company card basically for us to pay, because it's not like out of thin air. We got to go buy it and we got to get it printed, and then we got to ship it to your doorstep and make it nice and cool. And anyway, so in order to do that, it goes on one card so that the company tells me, Will, is this like we're at risk here? You're shipping all these t-shirts and it's all on one card, and we don't want this to like charge back or something. So I ended up like getting on the phone. Our first big shipment of stock made apparel was delayed because of that. Uh, so that was kind of like a little crazy, but yeah. Anyway, one of the things I'd like to do, we have stock made apparel here in lifetime access. You do get this shirt here, this growth tee. You guys can see it on the screen, I believe. And I want to give you guys more gadgets. You know, I have a watch that's really custom and cool, and it's a resemblance of a Patek Philippe. And I mean, I want to reward you guys. Like, I want to send out things like that. I want to send out gadgets, blue light blockers. You guys are looking at a screen? Let's get you some blue light blockers. Coffee cups. We're drinking coffees in the morning. Like, let's have some coffee, some better coffee cups. And anyway, gadgets. Maybe it's trading planners, you know, different notebooks. And so we're going to introduce that this next week as we're working on it. I got to talk with Emmanuel, our team member who does the marketing and is someone that can do some of the technical side of things. Anyway, behind the scenes. But up front, I can tell you, we're about to get a smooth, sleek look at rewarding members who come to the stock meets sessions each morning. Not only will you get cool stuff, but I think you're going to get better results. You're going to make more money. Like, imagine you're here every morning. We're looking at the markets. We're trading together. You're getting to see the entries. You're getting to hear from people that are doing it and making money. You're getting to also maybe make mistakes or know people that are making mistakes. And you can say, oh, that person's making a mistake. I'm going to learn from it. And we walk through mistakes all the time as well. And there's just a few mistakes that are really common that we do go over a lot. Sometimes they're complicated. A lot of times they're more just a few simple things that people need to tweak in the way that they approach investing. They'll give them better results. And those are the types of things that we go over in the live sessions in StockMate. And overall, like, we also do quotes at the end. Sometimes they're really high energy like today. Sometimes they're more like chill because it's slower day or something like that. But I will tell you, again, sometimes they could be slow, and like last week, the market was red. And like, at first we're like, dang. And then we're like, okay, how do we find some opportunities in this market? And I believe we did that quite well last week. But anyway, the beautiful thing about being in a group with other people is that, you know, they're all working and investing together, and you're in this mastermind of people. And one of the first rules from Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich and how people achieve success is being around people that they can bounce ideas off of. I don't know how many of you guys just like, you have an idea, as soon as you share it with somebody, they say something that you're like, oh my gosh, how do I do that? You know? And so, and I'm getting messages right now of people saying, Will, I got to claim the free t-shirt. Will, let me get the free t-shirt. All right. We'll make sure that we get it. So anyway, I want to give you guys extra products and stuff like that. And I can tell you, those are the types of experiences that we're working on. And so in the link below for lifetime access, you get that free t-shirt. But also, if you'd like to watch us trade live and be in these sessions every day, it's the link below. I see Adam sent $10. It says, always love your content, man. You're such a top bloke and always have some good calls and fantastic analysis in the market. Much love from Australia. I appreciate that. That's actually the type of stuff that I read, and then we make more content. Happens quite often. And I'm glad that the service is of value for you, man. Sam says, I want the lifetime membership. Sam, all you got to do is click the link in the description. Go enter your first name and your last name, and then it will give you, if you're trying to do PayPal, then it will give you the option for PayPal. And then if you don't want to do PayPal, you just enter your details there, and then on the next page, you'll see all the confirmation. You'll get an email. You get to see from top to bottom what it looks like to go through technical and fundamental analysis, along with the plan for doing that alongside the live sessions that we have at Market Open each morning. And then I'll see you on Monday there, Sam. I'll see you Monday in our live session. You get an email reminder with our daily live trading. Gary, love the content. Will, thank you. Absolutely, Gary. And if you have anything specific you guys would like me to cover here in the future, then, definitely drop it there. And we're going to wrap up here in this session. I would join you if you had a monthly option. Cristero says, we also have Klarna or like a firm or something like that. So we have quarterly. But the thing is, people don't normally get tremendous results in a day. But by tuning in the live sessions consistently and getting the value and seeing the thought processes, and then truly changing your beliefs and how you approach the market and being around people that are doing it, you're going to see results. And we like to think on a little bit longer time frames. We might introduce monthly, but we go in quarterly and lifetime access. And when it comes to monthly, you could still do it. Just go to lifetime access, purchase it, and then buy it with the firm or Klarna, I think it's called. And they let you do it into different payments. So you could do, I think it's like $20 a month or something like that. It breaks down to like, I don't even know. What is that? It breaks down to like less than $1 a day for less than a year for lifetime access. It's an absolute no-brainer. Yeah. So it's a link below. And we also have that discount. It's only available. It's not getting any better than the sale that we have in the description. Like if you're a stock being right now, you see that and you might be like, oof, I want to provide you more value. We're going to be amping it up even more. But yeah, it's not getting any better than that discount. So that's there. Are you going to look into options at all for Stockmates? Do you mean options as in trading, or options in, I imagine you mean trading. Most likely you mean that. Yeah, so we could take a look at options. Definitely, we have options for sure. We do options quite often, and we have an options section that breaks down. I mean, I could talk about it, but why don't I just show you? We've got our live session events. You guys could see exciting earnings inside of Stockmate, where we have our targets, our sales, or our company targets based on earnings, along with the Stockmate breakdown. So you can see pre-market and after hours for each company. Hey, look at that. There's Tempus AI when they reported earnings back there. Nvidia back there. So I'm on a later week in the past. But Stockmate, we cover the earnings. You get that resource. You also get the book. So we have a few books. Maybe I can find it here. There it is. The Profitable Trader book. I would encourage everybody to read this. It's the philosophy of the profitable trader. And essentially it goes into the mindset of the trader. I wrote this. It's breaks down your pathway to growing your accounts, and ordinary versus profitable, and the difference between the two and how they think. Some lessons from the profitable trader mindset, ordinary mindset versus profitable mindset. So for example, like follow the crowd, work hard for your money, earn so you could spend or what have you, or save money. Though it's kind of like ordinary, right? But profitable is like acquire trading knowledge to identify a good deal, make money work for you, spend so you can earn and invest and trade. And there's like other like questions you ask yourself and things like that. You can amass knowledge through active learning, passive learning. It tells you how to learn and what's best for you. Example of a trading plan and what that looks like. Again, thoughts of ordinary. And then also we just go into like emotional EQ as well. So if you guys want to know emotional EQ, it's in there. And anyway, so we got that. If you go to learning, you can get options, jump into StockMate here, and get a good look at it. Again, it's that sale down below, so you get lifetime access. It's A to Z library there for you. Oh, got you, Adam. Bloke, it's a guy, it's an Aussie term. I got you, man. I appreciate that. I saw that and I was like, I'm gonna assume that's positive. But I mean, he just sent me $10, so like I'm assuming it's positive, right? It sounds like something like a choke, like which isn't usually like you're a choke um or like a crook, or I don't know, like a blow over, like a no show, like those types of words. Bloke, I heard that and I was like, is that it's positive, right? It's gotta be positive. Anyway, that's funny. Um yeah, Kevin Ackerman, lifetime membership, t-shirt available. Yes. If you get into lifetime, you get the t-shirt. Is that here? Yep. You get this t-shirt available, baby. I'm not wearing it today, but it's comfortable, it's smooth, it's fitting. We got all the sizes there, and it's great to wear on a daily basis. It's a casual tee, but also looks pretty professional. It's a nice one. Yeah, option calls, Johnny. We'll do some of that for sure. Algorithm volume, 92% buying the highest in 4 weeks. 401k sales are spiking right now. Big money is loading this dip. Sad Hood moved above 38.50. Yeah, so guys, we just made this trade yesterday. We bought into to Robinhood and sold this morning for profit. I don't think we're holding any more. Are we still holding? Yeah, we're holding a tiny bit. We got $1 profit there. Yesterday we said this is the resistance, this is the support, and we bought at $36 a share. $36.80 is where we basically bought. And that margin for profit from yesterday's trade is about 4%. At one point, about 5%. So that was the trade we made yesterday. Today we're in CTM stock. It's not really moving. It's up $33 a share, or $33 profit, and it hasn't moved at all. But we're potentially going to see it recover here. I'm going to be watching it throughout the day. Again, if you guys are watching right now and you're in that CTM trade, I'm looking to sell around $1.50 to $2, which would be over $1,000 profit. But again, $1.50 to $2, and then sell risk management around like $1.05 to $1. So having some risk management there. Their company, they got like $100+ million dollar contract the other day, and so not only do they have $100 million contract, they have revenue. They got $81 million valuation on their common stock, and they are getting some more institutional investors. You can see a couple $100 million there. And then if you look at the financials of CTM, their market cap's 81 million, as we said. Their financials were impressive to me because their revenue was around $11 million a quarter, which means if they're doing like, let's say $40 million a year and their market cap's only 80 million, I see an opportunity of like at least $250 million or up to $500 million dollar market cap. I mean, we're seeing some of them soar to $1 billion with those types of financials. So anyway, we're in it. According to someone, there's some shorts value. It hasn't moved much right now. We had a trade here somewhere. It was 87 cents that we trade right here when we were in our live session in StockMate up in Miami, and it was, I think it was like $600 profit in a course of a day and a half. So that was a nice trade. $600. I mean, it was a good, like in the morning, caught that swing. Right now, it hasn't done anything since we bought. It's just kind of chilling. But that was a nice $600 profit. And then there was another one we caught somewhere else, somewhere around like 400 or something. I think it was yeah, it was like 400. But we'll be watching it closely. But again, guys, Stockmate, if you guys want to join and watch us trade live on Monday, this is a session that's only available here on YouTube for a limited time. It normally is private, and you can get in. It brings it down like $200 off, so it breaks it down to, what is it? I think that brings it down to like $249. Lifetime access, one-time payment. Right now, it's not going to get any better than this. There's not any sales like that. So feel free to check that link below. It's there for a limited time while we have this session open. And I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I'd love to see you there on Monday. So thank you guys again for watching. I appreciate you all. Man, let's take it. QBTS, we've been covering it. It's up. I love that. Vinod's like, QBTS is a rocket. I love it. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate you all. And I'll see you in the next live session. Have a great day. Oh, I almost didn't end it, but let's give it one quote. We usually end it with one quote at the end of the day. Let's go with Earl Nightingale. So Earl Nightingale is starting to get a tremendous amount of exposure after 50 years. He's becoming one of the most famous philosophers of the 19th or 20th century. And one thing he says here: 1 hour per day of study in your chosen field is all it takes. 1 hour per day of study will put you at the top of your field within 5 years. No, within 3 years. Within 5 years, you'll be a national authority. In 7 years, you can be one of the best people in the world at what you do. That's what I'm going to leave it at. And I'm just going to let you guys know, if you want to be in the best world at what you do, it takes consistency, being there consistently, and have a goal, work towards it. And in fact, there's no way that you will not achieve it. You will not become more by having that. Thank you guys again. I'll see you in the next live session. Take care. Wow, it snowed like 2 inches since we started this live session. That's crazy. All right, see you guys.